Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome, of course, to another art vlog. Really happy to have you here. Welcome to the Art Corner. You are in the art zone with Mirjana Persakis, aka Mim. Really happy to have you guys here. Now, today I thought I'd do a little bit more different of a introduction to what's going on from my perspective, what's going on with art, my entrepreneurial thinking. I haven't quite caught you guys up to date with what's been going on for probably about 3, 4, maybe longer months, I think. Anyway, so I thought today is a really good day to catch up on some of the things that have been going on. And so this morning I had a really cool, interesting discussion, as I always do, about where I am, what I'm doing, where I'm focused. And the one thing that I went on this incredible rant with the person that I was speaking with was the fact that, I hope you guys can hear me, was the fact of my current challenges. And I thought, wow, that is a really good topic to have with other people, and of course to share this journey with other people of what the current challenges are, at least for me. And I think that by sharing where I'm at in this journey and the journey that other people are walking on, then this particular discussion might help you guys along wherever you are in your current time frame on your path. So this morning's discussion, what really took place was centered around the fact that I'm wearing incredible amount of hats, and I got asked the question was, am I happy doing what I'm doing? And the answer, I actually stood back from that a little bit, and I thought about it. The simple answer is yes, of course I'm absolutely joyful what I'm doing, what I'm creating, and what I'm involved in. But why I took a step back was all around the fact that I was dedicating my time more toward what I call the 80% admin things that I had to take care of, and only 20% creative. And I'll explain a little bit about that. And so when I started talking about that, I started realizing that whilst I know there's a need that I have to actually do the 80%, I actually want to spend my time more in the creative aspects of my philosophy, my thinking, my movements, my authentic self, if you'd like. And so I started looking at where I was divvying my time, and I'm spending an incredible amount of time on editing videos, on creating my own content, because the hats that I'm wearing at the moment are beyond what I could explain to anybody. And if I was to put it simply, I think I'm probably doing the work of about 10 people. And I know there's 10 jobs out there that exist, which I'm doing myself. So it's an unusual process. Of course, it's an unusual path being on the entrepreneurial journey, which, as many people talk about, it wasn't quite as popular back when I started, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm in wearing of those hats. I'm absolutely heavily, involved in making sure that they execute it properly. That I, give as much time to the creation of a simple post, to the fact that I'm talking to you guys right now. And so, the reason why I even started Facebook Live is because it's making my life a little bit easier, so I can talk to you guys direct, and then I can share that context. I lost my words. There's my tired brain kicking in. I can share all this information on all other social media platforms. And so in this morning's discussion of, am I happy? Absolutely. But it's now looking at how I can, make my workload a little bit easier and not as full on. And so the discussion, of course, and what came out of this morning is looking at upgrading some of my technology and upgrading the way that I'm working, and looking at streamlining a lot of things. And whilst, I have checklists and I work with, scheduling posts and all those simple things that people use on social media, it's the creative aspect that obviously takes a lot of time, and then that kind of doesn't have a lot of airplay for me, because everything else has to come in that. And everything else that also is things like phone calls, and networking through phone calls, and replying to emails, and calling people back, and scheduling meetings, even if it's for 5 minutes. Because I live in a country setting, that distance then tends to be a little bit of my challenge anyway. So I can now have to drive to the city, which is like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive, depending on traffic. So it's those kind of, you know, admin style challenges that are taking me away from my creative process. And that's been really the biggest challenge that I've had to deal with. And so if anything that I can offer from my current process is to say to everybody, really start to look at having your own list of what you can do right now, what somebody else can do for you, even if it's like a scheduling thing via social media, or perhaps even looking at hiring people. Now, I'm not at that stage at the moment where I can hire somebody, but certainly that is the future projection of being able to have somebody on board, and then I can still maintain what my vision is and what I'd like to create, but at the same time, you know, not be able to give you this information and share this information with you without me having to do all of it. And so that's kind of the nuts and bolts, if you like, and I'm hoping I'm giving you guys a lot of, you know, heartfelt info in this discussion. But then, you know, in that whole process of, you know, how am I managing it all, I must tell you, I get up incredibly early every single day. There is not one day that I have not gotten up early, and my early tends to be around 5:30, 6:10 a.m. is probably the latest. And then I do go to bed fairly late. And so that's pretty much how I fit in, you know, a 19, 20 hour week sometimes, a day, I should say, not week, a day. But certainly I do sleep very well. It's just a matter of making sure that I do get all my things in. And so, you know, I'd love to tell you guys that this is a simple process and that this is a process that's glamorized. It's not, it really isn't. It's something that you have to put in a lot of work into. You have to upskill yourself in every area that you can. If you find that you don't know something, or that you're frustrated about something, then chances are that you actually need to upskill yourself in that area and learn more about it, and that frustration, that anger, that, you know, scatteredness would disappear from you. So aside from the focus of doing, you know, creative content, sales, admin, marketing, networking, it's the upskilling as well that's quite important, at least for me, because without it, then I find that I'll fall behind very, very quickly. And so in this whole experience of being on this journey, it's really a matter of continually shifting direction, even if it's by 1 degree, towards where you want to go. And that's certainly what I've been focusing on since 2009 of starting this process. And whilst a lot of things that have taken place during these 7 years have been incredibly challenging, some of which that I can't share with you, they certainly have shaped and given me incredible foundation to be able to do everything that I'm actually delivering to you guys and sharing with you guys. Now, the one aspect of this entire process that I've always talked about is that no matter what journey and process, and no matter what time frame you are on, the one piece of advice that I will share with anybody is, of course, you know, focus on yourself. Don't ever compare yourself to where you are in, you know, on the path with other people. It's just going to give you guys an incredible quick downfall very, very fast. And no matter where you're at, my only suggestion would be to say is to amplify you. I'm a big, big believer in the word amplify, because you know what that is for you and you know what that means for you. And in that amplification of who you want to be, what you want to achieve, the questions in why am I not amplifying everything that I can be, you'll find the answers in that same question, because that might result in, well, I don't know this, therefore learn it. I don't know that, therefore upskill myself. I don't know how to deal with this, maybe look at people that can help you with that. So amplification of who you are is really, really important. Again, no matter what journey you're on, and no matter what step of that journey you're on, but it's a matter of having that consciousness and the realization to face your fears and also acknowledge what step you're on and saying, you know what, I don't know that. And so therefore I've got to learn that in order to be at that particular next step in my life. So that's kind of like the short of it all. And I thought I'd, like I said, I wanted to jump on this and do a really, really quick vlog and give you guys a bit more of a heads up of where I'm at. Of course, if you have tuned since July of this year, I also began the journey of NGANI, which is my own scarf creation, not this particular one, a lot larger than this, where I'm using my own artworks and having them printed on incredibly fine, delicate, high quality silk, Australian made, Australian produced. And so that's also been another focus that's been happening in the background. And that's a discussion that's continuing. It's a continual discussion over social media, over emails, over phone calls. And so aside from everything else that I've, piled onto my plate, that really hasn't been forgotten about. And so, if I was to give you guys a bit more of an insight into how that's panned out for me, it's more than money could actually buy, to be quite frank, because the success of starting that is far greater than any economic material measurement that I can give you. And that's, again, another discussion altogether. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because it came in the form of a realization more than, hey, I produced that and then I sold it for gazillions of dollars. And for me personally, that realization is a lot more worthy and valuable because it's a foundation that is not able to be lost, and it's not something that that it's fleeting, I should say. It's not something that's fleeting. It's something that is measurable on an internal level. It's tangible. As I've always said with my discussions, it's transferable. And so that incredible success that's come out of creating NGANI has allowed me to do so many more things. And that's why, the process of starting that, whilst I haven't been able to give you guys a measuring financial, material, economic outcome that a lot of people always set for themselves, for me personally, it's created and done so many more things than what I could ever explain in this short video log right now. So I guess that, to sum it all up, I always do have Monday morning meetings. And again, I used to tweet about this quite often early in the mornings. Of course, I also change my tactics quite often, so I stopped doing that for a while. But I do have Monday, I call them Monday morning meetings, but they actually happen every single day. I say Monday morning because it feels like I'm setting my new to-do list for the day, for the week. And so I never give myself the platform of saying that it's Friday and therefore I can relax. I always hold this mindset of keeping a fresh outlook on whatever I'm doing. And so thus I call it Monday morning meetings. But I have those meetings every single day. And this morning's one was, as I said, quite deep and quite profound, and thus again the reason for sharing it. So to sum it all up, I would urge you guys to have a partner that is quite, open-hearted in hearing your ideas and what you want to do, and certainly, have a discussion to what you want to achieve, and then be honest with yourself whether or not you're taking those steps forward and how you are going to achieve those steps. I'm incredibly fortunate and lucky to have somebody that is non-judgmental and incredibly supportive. And so every idea I put out on the table is received with an open heart and open mind. And thankfully for me, they're able to give me various perspectives. And then I have to answer those questions, not for them, for him, but really for me to hear myself and what that sounds like. And I instantly know whether that particular idea is going to work or not work, and therefore I just push it to the side. So these morning meetings for me are very, very helpful, and thus the discussion of today and why I wanted to give you guys this insight that that perhaps could help you guys. So number one, have someone that can help you, and that's your champion. I think everybody needs to find a champion in their life. 2, have a list. I really do work really well from lists. For me, they're helpful. If you find that you're running things in your mind and you can't get away from those discussions, I would definitely write them down. 3, I would be honest with myself about what I do know and what I don't know, and where I need to learn those things from. So dedicate a time during the day, not just once a week, but every single day, to upskill yourself. Big believer in that. What are we up to? 5 or 4? I'm not quite sure. The other process, of course, is always be open. I'm a big believer in not being stuck in one paradigm and not giving my attention, my actions, my thoughts, my beliefs into just that one paradigm. And so again, always be open to things finding you. A lot of people talk about don't have an expectation for the action that you do, and that's certainly something that I have incorporated for some time now, that the actions that I do take are inspired action. They're not an action based on what I expect to receive in return. And so that's the other big aspect that I've been working with, and it's certainly paid to some degree in not just introducing me to new ideas, but new people, new events, new activities, new insights, which is really important. So there you go, guys. I hope that's helped you. I hope that's going to give you some ideology about what this whole journey is about. Again, really happy to share and help you with my own journey and help you and answer your questions of where you're at. The one thing that I've always said to everybody on social media is that everything that I speak, I have lived. There is not one thing that I have offered to help anybody because I've read it in a book. Fortunately for me, I will say that I have lived a full life and a life of incredible challenges. But I think that that's something that has been imprinted in my life journey, and that's something that is there for a reason. Certainly I'm waiting to unravel that myself, but like I said, everything that I do talk about, I have lived. It's nothing that I have, read in a book and then I'm sharing with you guys. I certainly don't believe in that, because after all, I'm somebody that has to experience it, and I've certainly had many experiences, and then be able to, move through the challenges, the fire, the heat, and then come out and say, hey, I'm still alive and I'm okay. You guys can do what your challenges and move through your challenges as you face them yourself. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate it, you tuning in. Always lovely to connect with you. Share your stories, ask your questions. Don't be afraid. If you've got a burning art question or a question in general about some issue regarding a entrepreneurial challenge, I can only offer you what I know. And certainly if I don't know it, I can guide you to people that have got incredibly more experience than what I have, and would be able to give you a lot more insight. Stay cool, stay creative, be healthy, look after your health. I tell you from the heart, it is the most #1 wealth thing that you could have for yourself, the most abundant thing that you can have for yourself. So make sure that you look after your health. And as always, I look forward to catching up with you again soon. Before I finish off the vlog, I'm going to say this. Tomorrow I'm doing an announcement giveaway, so make sure that you tune in for that at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to be happy about this giveaway. Certainly the intention behind the giveaway, as much as I want to give you inspiration and this particular thing, I also want to start talking about positivity, and I want to inspire positivity and creativity and artistic creativity, and how that can help you, and therefore together we can inspire everybody else that's actually tuning in this channel. So tomorrow, 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. See you guys tomorrow, and as always, be you. Remember, you're 1 out of 7 billion people. My love to everybody. Bye, guys.